It's really not a jazz choir. It's called that. That's what it was in the books when Professor Logan started it in 1966. And it's kind of morphed into this. And we've kept the name. How many of you have been to jazz concerts? Who has seen this before? Who's never seen this before? Well, normally we don't start on the risers. We do some kind of big entrance piece and we kind of energize the space, but we figured this space really didn't need to be energized. And since it's early in the year and I haven't really written any opening piece yet, maybe we wouldn't do one tonight. Although this first piece was supposed to be an opening piece. I didn't rehearse it, my apologies, as an opener. So what I want you to imagine is that nobody's in here. And as we add instruments, those people kind of join us. I noticed Dean Aiken is over there. I was going to ask how many people were actually signed up. Oh, you know what I'm going to ask?
Don't ask.
Well, I'm asking, but I'm not going to tell you. We're from all over campus. Anybody can join this group. Not anybody can stay, or really wants to. I'm not kidding. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of music theory and ear training. Who's not signed up for this? Would that be because it costs money to take those extra credits? I actually wasn't going to go there, but that's the reason. Okay, how many music majors? Yeah, how many voice majors? Okay, how many instrumental majors? How many, let's see, we've got some community people who aren't, just sing with us. House managers over here, that's the house managers section, Russ. So we're kind of from everywhere. We get together 3 days a week and work on crazy stuff. So we'll do this samba and I'll shut up. I normally don't talk at concerts. It's all music all the time, so this is strange. And I might add, if you have any questions at any time, please ask some questions. Or if you want to see what it looks like up here, or is like in the choir, please come on up. This is our test for dress. This is the first time we've been in this concert black. And people go, gee, why do you wear tuxes? Well, I have a tux on. I don't really know if does anybody else own a tux in here? As you notice later on, you'll find out it's one of the easiest things to fake from a distance. So that's why we do it. Thanks to Goodwill. All right. Shall we? And any questions about any of these instruments, please ask us. We're going to start with the samba. And instead of 400 drummers, we'll have maybe a dozen. And they'll sound like 400 in here. Because in a samba, it's normally about 400 drummers. And I'm talking already way too much. These are samba instruments. If you have any questions about them, ask us later. brass section way back there too. So everybody sings, that's for sure. But a lot of us play other instruments too, so we get a chance to feature them. And normally, there'd be music playing here, and I wouldn't be speaking at all. So, yeah, this is a classic lecture thing. Questions? Sally, you got any questions? No. You want to play? You want to play anything or no?
Why did you say that those were Samba instruments? I mean, they're used for lots of things.
Well, Cynthia, I would say instruments that sound like those. Would you guys get those quickly, if you don't mind? You guys learn this piece while we're doing this. Come on over here. They look like instruments you may be familiar with. They may sound like them. Like this one that Matt was playing. Sounds like a tambourine. It's called a pandeiro. And it's played quite differently. You want to do a little bit of that? I saw Mrs. Graydon here somewhere. She actually really knows this stuff. Was she over there? Dale Graydon's wife was here today. Like, you're from Brazil, so I don't know why I'm talking about this. That's right? Yeah? And this is, if you want to play drums in Brazil, you start on this instrument. Is that right?
That I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's very popular.
Okay. And this is and please correct me, this is a hepanica? Okay. It sounds like a tom-tom, but like many Brazilian instruments, you notice it's played with a stick and a hand. And then you've heard a drum that sounds like this one. We call it a snare drum. Caixa? And that's a triangle, which... Is it the same? What? It sounds cooler in Portuguese. And it should be played cooler, too, by the way. That's played slightly differently. And then this is a tambourine. Tambourine? Yeah. Okay. And Navin was playing a-go-go bells. And there's this scraper thing. Called a heko-heko. Heko-heko. And all together, Zurdo. Surdo. Sounds like a bass drum. And it is the Brazilian bass drum. And translated, does it mean deaf man? Yeah. And at Carnival, in Samba schools would have hundreds of drummers. Yeah, and maybe 50 of these, okay? So all together, 1, 2. Okay, thanks so much. Let's see. Where'd Kyle go? Kyle, where'd you go?
Up here.
Lead this tune in Solfege, will you? Samba. Do you remember that? No? Anybody want to do that? In freshman oral skills one day, ear training, how to sing, how to do solfege. We were talking about how different tones work. And that's kind of where that melody of the samba came from. Do you remember that in solfege? Cover low do. C. On and on. So we learned that piece. Let's just do a few bars of it not with the solfege. Okay, just a few bars of the melody. 1, 2, 1, 2. We might spend quite a bit of time learning this music in some different languages before we do that one. This is a mass that goes. Mass is a form, and a lot of times it's one of the easiest forms to compose music in because you're given the words. So this is a mass kind of in African style. It's called Mesa Africa. Caitlin will do some solos. Is that what you guys are set up for?
Yeah.
Anybody want to follow the music? Not that music. We have folders of music that we memorize. If anybody wants to see what it looks like. No? Anybody? Yeah? No? Two, three. We're all still working on memorizing that, especially me. Did I mess that up at the end? No? Could have. I don't know. Navin, would you care to say a couple things about these two? This is another mass.
This is another mass. And well, let me go back a little bit and just talk a little about how this actually came into existence. The first time I was here in school, when I met Dan, and then I got into jazz choir, and you know, he was talking about for me to write something that would have some Indian classical influence in some kind of music. It wasn't nothing to do with the choir or either the mass as such, but I think it was Dan's idea. One day he told me, like, you know what, maybe you could write something, you know, that's a mass, because he's done so many masses that have like African influence and Cuban influence, you know, music from all around the world. So that's how the idea came up. And I didn't go to a Catholic school, but actually I did. I started in an elementary school that was a Catholic school, so I had a little bit of background on, you know, mass and singing hymns. And then I went to a Protestant school in Darjeeling, India, northeast part of India. Long story, I mean, you know, but I did have some kind of a background about mass and hymns. And so when he talked about Indian influence on a mass, as we started with Gloria, and then once Gloria came into play, we tried it out with the choir, and it was a lot of fun, and then inspired me to write not the whole mass, but the Kyrie and Sanctus part of it. So basically, this is Kyrie, Sanctus, and Gloria influenced by Indian classical music, and I'm sure you'll hear it. It's got a little bit of Hindu influence in it too, because we start off with Om, basically is a primary form of chant in Hinduism that tries to unite people or unite universes, or like the whole syllables about O, Uma, trying to put a universal aspect to it, you know. When we talk about like the three aspects, the trilogy in Hinduism is huge. So heaven, earth, and hell actually, you know, kind of mixed together, and various ways of putting the Om aspect as a universal thing. And later on, there's another mantra that comes in, talks about peace and compassion. So here is the Mass.
And heaven and earth and hell are actually mixed in tonight.
Yeah, why not?
Now that I think about it. And one more thing, though. There is solfege in every country, and we have some of your solfege in this.
Yes.
You know, the do, re, mi, fa stuff.
So similar way of teaching, where we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We have in Indian classical music called sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. And if you look at the syllables, re, the hopeful tone is pretty much the same. So sa, re, do, re. So certain similarities. And we've used a little bit of solfege singing with the choir, because that's a big part of improvisation in Indian classical music, where they use the syllables of the solfege to improvise. So we've used a little bit of that, and we've also used a little bit of rhythmic singing, because on the tabla drums, before we actually play the instrument and play the rhythm, we are asked to sing, and we kind of try to imitate the sound, both ways, I guess, of the voice on the drums or the sound of the drums with the voice. So, again.
Would you do that?
Sure.
Just for a second?
So, dha, dha, tere, kete, dha, dha, tun, na. So that would be the syllables I could play on the drums. And so before I would play it, the teacher would be like, play your dha. So it's each syllables, you know. And so dha, dha, tere, kete, dha, dha, tun, na. So it would be something like this on the drums. Dada terigate dada tunna, dada terigate dada tunna. Dada terigate dada tunna, tata terigate dada dinna. Da terigate da, da terigate da, da terigate da. Da terigate da, da terigate da, da terigate da, da terigate da, da terigate da.
Okay, everybody.
Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotigamaya Mrityuma Amritam Gamaya Loka Samasta Sukhina Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhina Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhina Bhavantu.
Mesa
We've got one more piece. This next one's a little unusual in that it's not an original composition, but it's kind of a, what do you call this? It's not a medley. What's it called? A mashup? It's called a mashup. But, may I borrow that? I want you to answer these questions honestly. Everybody thinks, oh, it's easy, you sing pop music all the time. Well, we don't sing it very often. And actually, English is the most difficult language to sing in a big choir. It's crazy. And most of you might not know these tunes. How many of you ever heard of Zippity Doo-Dah before? Okay. Who didn't? Who's never heard of it? Well, that's, yeah, right. I could have guessed that, actually. How about Camptown Races? Check that out. Who has heard of Camptown Races? Who's never heard of it? Interesting. How about Put Your Head on My Shoulder? Who's, you know, Put Your Head on My Shoulder? Okay, check this out. Who doesn't know Put Your Head on My Shoulder? So when we get to that tune, you'll understand why they're going, what up? How about Love Me Do? Yeah, okay. Please, Mr. Postman. Who's never heard of Please, Mr. Postman? Oh, this is interesting. Who's never heard the song Feelings? Never heard it. Which actually isn't a bad thing now that I think about it. So we'll see what happens with this. And as we did on the first piece, many of our singers up here play other instruments, and whenever we get the chance to feature them, we do. And so this features our string section, fiddling away on this, and we'll feature Mr. Wick over there on guitar. You can use the music if you want to. There's music. Anybody want to follow this? Pass some up. Skylar can pass some out if anyone wants to. But I don't know why you should follow it. We're not. Anybody want it? One, two, three. makes this happen. 1, 2, 1, 2. Thanks so much. Questions?
How do you do it?
Come to practice and see.
You normally kind of gently. Well, actually, can we do one chord? Do you have music there? Do you know that? You know where it says, is there an A dominant chord with quartal harmony? First of all, not everybody has to do this. I mean, more than half are just going. Who knows what an A dominant chord with quartal harmony from the fifth is? It doesn't take many people. But see, if you were in choir, we never play any parts, ever. We figure it out. So, do you have the music for that? Is that an A dominant chord? Yes. Okay, so, sorry. Excuse me, Elizabeth. All right. Can you sing the chord tone number function for me on that A dominant 13th? Somebody has, here's the root. Somebody has the 5. Is it the 5 up on top, ladies? Will you sing the 5 for me? And somebody below that, seconds, you have the 9. Can you find the 9th of the chord? And below that is kind of an interesting one to find. It's called the 13th, altos. Somebody will find it for you, seriously. The tenors have a 3. And I think the basses have a flat 7. Didn't have to play any of the parts. And if you sing that on an ah, it sounds like this. And in rhythm, what a concept that is that triplets? I'll let you see what a rehearsal is like just for a second. It is triplets, is that correct? Yes. Word rhythm on the triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, ladies, triplets always want to drag, and you can't let them drag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody who knows what the counting pattern is there, count and conduct. 2, ready, go.
1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2.
Spend a lot of time doing this. It's not fun. Okay, so now add the chord in. Here we go. Can I hear the chord again, please? With the numbers. 1, 2, ready, sing. Excuse me, that's a cutoff on beat 4 or one of those measures. Someone in your section will help you. And I'm great at looking like I really care that much, but I don't. 2, 3, 4. Clap your hands on beat 4. 2, 3, 4. And that is a diphthong, is that correct? Will somebody over there explain what a diphthong is? Yeah, to us though.
A has an E and an E in it. You sing the E for as long as you can and you add the E, so the word is understandable.
Some of you ladies, well, and men too, you're trying to sing A right away. It doesn't happen, right? Yeah, I know it's not news, but it takes a lot more thinking than anyone wants to put into it, myself included, which is why I didn't memorize my music for tonight, Elizabeth. My apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, but I want to hear the cutoff with the diphthong and no hand clap. 2, 3, 4. And then all of this stuff gets down here because my percussion friends load it on a truck and move it around without ever being asked to. It's awesome. So thanks everybody so much. I'll see you Friday, and thank you. Rodney, thanks. Thank you so much for inviting us down here. It's really a lot of fun. And Roger for all the work. Totally appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.